Currently, I'm 30 years old, working professional and husband and a father. My profession is education, a field I've been in for the past 8 years, while achieving my Bachelor's of Science in Education degree in Rural Western New York. I needed to save some money for all my expenses during the semesters. My hometown wasn't too far away from the campus, less than an hour's drive in fact. During my summers off, I would work at a local pizza restaurant. My hometown was extremely small, one of those types of near ghost towns where everyone knows the business of everyone else, of all those people seems to be related through some obscure second cousin or aunts and uncles. The actual size of a small hometown is measured by amount of traffic lights regulate the streets. Two. Mine had two. Getting this job was an easy task. I knew the owners because one husband was the basketball coach and the other was her mother, who had owned the place for years and years and years. I remember the little boy version of me eat pizza there with my family. Looking back on all of this, I have to say that working there was one of the best jobs I ever had. The work was fun and the people were more fun. I even look forward to working double shifts. More opportunities to laugh at mind-numbing as the lunch joke and the hefty paychecks didn't look bad either. It's funny how my young mind thought a couple $100 in my paycheck made me feel like a millionaire. No taxes or debts to worry about, I guess. Two small trailer parks gave me a resident place to live in this town. Many of these people who work manual jobs or on welfare. It was pretty obvious when payday came around on those bi-weekly or monthly Friday nights we were usually hit hard with orders. Sheet pizzas, hoagies, ice cream, and sundaes, and pop, 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 all of which were to be delivered. Try to imagine the difficulty of delivering a fresh hot pizza and ice cold sundae at the same time. I wouldn't even get my hopes up for tips during these days. The trailer park crowd usually wanted every cent of their change back. But I honestly didn't mind the work. Since I was 18, was able to work deliveries, which I loved. Deliveries gave me a chance to have some quiet time driving around, remind the natural beauty of my rural upbringing, or to listen to my late CD purchase with my windows down. But of course, my greedy side liked it the best, since the night always ended with a hefty amount of tips. I was able to keep straight cash, well, except from the trailer park residents now. Being a delivery boy could be also a little scary. I made deliveries to houses where obviously the residents were drunk or high. I've delivered to houses with evidence of underage drinking. The local moles were the worst to understand to deliver. Truck drivers with obvious prostitutes, very large biker-type men with notable knife and gun handles extended from their belts, and even more drunk or high people. But what intrigued me the most was delivering to the trailer parks. As I said before, there were two in my hometown, resting on opposite sides. When the owners would answer the door, I had the chance to peek to inside. The taxpayers treated these people well, judging by the amount of person covering of some of their face and the large flat screen televisions hanging on the wall. I even saw a large saltwater tank with exotic fish swimming on one trailer. However, it was strange now, to put it bluntly. This early delivery gave me the creeps. This day was likely any other, at fun at work, making jokes about customers with my co-workers and trying to keep straight face while taking orders face to face. I was working deliveries that night and was looking forward to make a few extra bucks for spending money. I had a handful of order tickets and two solid delivery bags full of hot pizzas. The sweet cheese and spicy pepperoni aroma filled my Chevy Blazer. The first delivery transaction happened with no issue and nice tip. The second was the same. The third was interrupted by my own clumsiness as dropped in their order of wings, which luckily landed on the other side of the styrofoam container and still wrapped in plastic bag in order to fall out. I felt I was to blame for my skimmy teeth and it was dark now. I had a fourth delivery to finish, but the four deliveries that still lingers in the back of my mind for the sake of anonymity, and because I simply don't remember. address is made up, but I was delivered to 5 Trailer Park Lane, which is one of the trailer parks in my hometown. It took me a while to find the place, but eventually the small reflective 5 sticker was illuminated by my headlights. Parking the lot, noticing there was no other vehicles. There were no lights on at all in this trailer, which was odd, especially those expecting a lot left on the courteous porch light. Knocked 3 separate times on the door, and finally the shadowy figure of an old woman came into focus through the fox-edged glass window. The deadbolt slid open, as did the door, revealing utterly confused. Again, for the sake of anonymity and my lack of clarity, the name is made up and the conversation, although did not entirely accurate, like this. "Hello, here's your delivery," I said. "Delivery?" said the confused woman. "This 5 Trailer Park Lane?" "Yes, but I didn't order any pizza." At this moment, I thought the prank had been pulled and I fell for it, but I decided to probably order. I looked down at the order ticket. "Are you Marie?" I asked. At this moment, the woman's face went from confused to complete terror. "Who did you ask I was?" she asked. "Marie? Marie. Died 5 years ago." At this point, I think my face took on a lost, confused characteristic. I decided that something was wrong and that I should go back to the restaurant to work it out. "I'm sorry, ma'am. There's been some kind of mistake. My apologies," I said. She responded with a very nod and slowly shut the door. I heard the deadbolt slide back into place as I descended the stairs. I drove back to the restaurant in silence. Once there, I told my boss about the interaction just had. Of course, they thought I was scared and laughed it off. It wasn't until my consistent they believed me. Their advice was that this woman may be a sufferer of dementia and perhaps ordered the pizza and forgot. We were to place the pizza on the oven in case the woman called back. If not, we could eat it while we cleaned up. This was not the first time this happened to me, so this logic somewhat settled my nerves. 10 o'clock finally came around, which meant closing time. We decided to open up the forgotten pizza and enjoy a couple of slices as we cleaned up. After an hour of sweeping, mopping, taking the trash out, wiping the tables, and carrying the trays, I let out a sigh of relief as I counted the money in my delivery bag. I was satisfied with night's tips. I only had one ticket in the discard pile. Just like for this Marie in the trailer park, I had almost forgotten about my strange encounter and was now intrigued. After clocking out, I signed my card, deciding whether or not to swing by the trailer park to check on the woman. Maybe she lived alone, I said. It's close to 11:15 by the time I got there. I found the reflective 5 on the end of the trailer and again parked in the lot. I left my keys in the ignition in case I need to leave in a hurry. I never dealt with a person suffering from dementia and did not want to take any chances again. There were no lights on in the trailer. However, there was something that caught my eye that I didn't see before. A bright yellow sign was stuck to the window of the front door. We didn't notice it when it was earlier. As I pointed to the front door, I noticed that it was written on the sign in large, bold print, "Eviction." It wasn't until then to notice the padlock touched the door, which I knew wasn't there before. Looking closely at the side of the door, I see that the eviction notice detailed the eviction took place 5 years ago. Luckily, I had the discarded delivery and ticket in my pocket with my loose dollar bills. We usually write the phone number of the delivery and the ticket when the order is paid. In case of any confusion during the delivery, I took my cell with a shaking thumb, punched in every digit in the quiet evening air, and I could hear every digit's tone pierce through the night, staring right through my eardrum. After pushing send, I slowly raised the phone to my ear and waiting, nothing. Then 3 familiar tones and the hollow, automated voice informed me this number had either been disconnected or out of service. At the moment, everything came into perspective, a black and hopeless clarity. From this trailer, this woman I saw at this trailer told me this Marie died 5 years ago and this eviction took place 5 years ago. The phone which from the order was placed was no longer in service. Ordered a pizza. Even more frightening, who answered that door? For years, I told people this story as the story of how I almost got kidnapped. Which is still true, but there are some parts of the story that, as I think about them, and spend more time on Reddit, could be something more than the human. I haven't told parts of this story because I didn't want people to think I was crazy. Please excuse the novel that's to ensue. That night was a long, dark part of my past. I was 11, maybe 12, back when late nights at your friend's house was the cool thing to do. Me and my best friend were watching a movie with our younger brother and sister, dragging a night out because she was moving out of state the next day. We tried to make the most of it. We had pizza for lunch and ate the whole thing. We threw water balloons at each other in the unfinished basement, and our parents let us watch a PG-13 movie to finish the day off. Our parents had left to make an appearance at a neighborhood party for a few hours, trusting we'd be okay because they would be down the street and we knew their cell phone number. Now, my friend's dad was an artist. He liked to paint and shit. So in her living room, the entire north wall was windows. He would sit by them during the day and paint the tree lines that met his backyard a couple hundred feet away. It was cool during the day, but at night it scared the shit out of me. I always thought I could see a face in the darkness, but then I would realize the big eyes were just my own scared shitless by my own imagination. This night was no different, or so I thought. I was sitting on the couch with my back to the windows engrossed in the movie until I heard a tap on the glass behind me. I dismissed as a tree branch in the wind until I heard a distinct tap, tap, tap. I turned around to see the creepiest faces I've ever laid eyes on. His eyes were small, the size of marbles maybe, but they were white, bright white. His mouth was way too big for his face, and it was stretched into a Cheshire cat smile. I can still see it. It's burned like a course into my mind. I did what any normal 12-year-old would do. I didn't hesitate. I screamed, "Bully fucking murder." My friend and her siblings looked at me like I was crazy as I told them to get upstairs. I know if they look at the window, I was too busy grabbing the little ones and heading for the stairs. They stopped asking questions and went with me, though so maybe they saw him. I locked us in the master bedroom. We huddled in the corner and listened for any noises out of the ordinary. The doorbell rang. A small part of me hoped it was my friend's parents coming home and had somehow locked themselves out of the house. Although unlikely, I would still walk out to the line and attempt to look through the side panel of the windows of the front door to catch a glimpse of who was inside. Whoever it was, they were wearing a gray jacket, zipped up, a baseball hat that was lowered to cover their face, and they were holding a pizza box. "Pizza delivery," a voice said, and I don't know if it could be classified as a voice, though it sounded like that cat that somehow learned English being strangled. I knew it wasn't the pizza man. Somehow my 12-year-old brain clicked that he was using the empty pizza box I left outside on the porch. All I knew is that he was trying to get into the house to get us. I stared at the figure for what seemed like an eternity, and this is where it gets fucking weird. He shifted his weight sometimes and once or twice. He did this weird convulsing thing, like something was trying to escape from his skin or like he was fighting to keep something in. He would hunch over and then bend side to side, shaking and explode. I was so petrified and I couldn't move. Jesus, just thinking about it is giving me chills. Eventually, he seemed to calm down and he set the pizza box down and stepped off the porch into the night. I thought it was over and a sigh of relief escaped my fragile body. I walked back into the master bedroom. All the kids looked at me with big scared eyes and they told me that I tried to call their parents but the phone was making a loud squeaky sound. That fucker clips the phone lines and tried to get into the house and the smiles the kid before he tries to get to the front door. Was he trying to befriend us then let us live in so he wanted to leave any evidence? My mind was still spinning, and even though I was only 12, I knew I had to protect these kids. I thought maybe we could lock ourselves in the bedroom and wait for the parents to get home. It seemed like a pretty good deal until something dawned on my usually keen young mind. When we had our water fight in the basement earlier in the day, we used side door in the house to run up the concrete stairs to refill water balloons and run back down to continue the war. Somehow I knew the door was hanging wide open, welcoming the darkness and all the monsters that seemed to come out and play at night. God knows I had the courage to tell kids, I have to go downstairs and make sure all the doors are closed. I said, but I did. I got down to the main level and my heart rate was through the roof. I made it halfway down the basement stairs, wide to the point where it turns and you can see the floor of the basement. Unfinished basement gives me the creeps anyway, but of course it was much worse. It was an open floor and it was straight shot from where I was standing to the door on the other side. I could hear things and just creaking in the breeze. The draft from outside made it freezing. I stepped foot on the cold concrete and the very second I did, I heard 2 feet hit the concrete on the stairs outside and stop. There was a slight hesitation and then footsteps continued down the stairs. Whatever it was coming. I started to run. I forced my little legs across the basement in a matter of seconds. As soon as I hit the door to shove it closed, it hit it from the other side. The force was so great it knocked the wind right out of me, but somehow I was able to shove back. Maybe grace gave me some amazing amount of strength, but I still consider myself lucky to this day. I shoved back against this thing. I was able to shove the deadbolt into the place. I didn't waste any time. I spun on my heels and walked back upstairs. As I was running, a faint whine like the mango cat again pounded against the door. I stayed locked in the bedroom stairs with kids until their parents got home. I begged them to look for footprints in the mud around the house, for a handprint on glass, anything, but of course there was nothing. They drove me home and I slept in my closet that night. About a week later, a new family moved into the house and they already had it for sale again. So that someone or something had broken into their house and only stolen one thing: pictures of the kids.